So many unique, impactful, and touching sports stories right here in Central Ohio. And as we pick our favorites, for me, I was curious about something I originally saw from an airplane, and it was unlike anything I've ever seen.
Some people just look at them and don't know what they are, and you know, that's pretty much what it is.
Ben Jackson is the director of grounds, and he is talking about these massive lights that you can see from an airplane 30,000 feet in the sky. They simulate sunlight.
They're very cool. And we wouldn't have the surface that we have without them. They do a great job.
The crew bought these when they moved into Lower.com Field, a stadium with a massive canopy. Great for game day atmosphere, not so much though for growing grass, big time shadows. In the winter when the sun is low, half the field never sees direct sunlight, and Ben does not only use his eyes to monitor the situation, but also these pods on the field.
This will tell us how much a certain area is getting. Right now, which this one in the shade is getting 124 micromoles.
There is also more technology that goes into this. There are 10 miles of pipes 9 inches apart under the field that control the temperature. That system is run out of this room under the stands, along with a sub-air system that controls moisture.
We can heat it up to, basically it runs like a thermostat, your thermostat at home. You just set the different zones to temperature and it does its thing.
It's pretty wild how all of this works together, because when the crew opened the season in February, the grass was green like it was the middle of July. Without the lamps, Ben says the south quarter of the field would have to be replaced a couple times a year. The lights certainly require more planning when it comes to mowing, and they take about 3 hours to move on and off the field, but it is all well worth it.
With the grow lights, the field heat, and the air system, and the irrigation, we have the ability to control almost every variable, and so it is very controlled.
There's the answer. And remember, those lamps are used more this time of year because the sun is lower in the sky. Whitney, you're up. What's your favorite?
Thanks, Joe. My favorite story of the year, it's a little bit personal. I'll get to that in a minute. But from day one of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Aaron Portzline has been there writing and reporting on the team, first with the Dispatch. He's now with The Athletic. And as a hockey writer, I mean, he's seen plenty of fights in 23, now 24 seasons. But last season, he was in his own fight against kidney disease. He needed a transplant desperately. Multiple members of his family have already had one, so that meant that they couldn't donate. The thing is, Aaron is part of another family, the Blue Jacket family.
I've always been trained to not be the story, and so we've sort of tried to keep this encouraging people to donate.
In October, the Athletic CBJ reporter Aaron Portzline put a post up on social media that simply said, "I am not well." He then went on to tell a chapter of his story that he was in kidney failure. Quickly, he turned the page and the focus towards organ donation.
It's one of the few things we agree on right now in society, that organ donation is a good thing.
The outpouring of support was immediate and immense. Porty said he was fortunate to have many friends step up and go through the process to see if they could be his donor. A couple even made it to the final testing stage, but they were ruled out.
I was kind of in a dark place after I heard, because, you know, dialysis is not fun.
So let's go back. Remember that social media post from before? As we scroll down through the massive number of responses, take a look at this one. It's from Lindy Knoll, who is part of the CBJ's communications team. "I'll do whatever I can to help."
I started off, I think, like many other people, and I just filled out the questionnaire. I lost my father in 2018 to cancer. There was no donation that could save his life. So this felt like something that I could do to make a difference in someone else's life.
A questionnaire led to lab work, which led to tests, and in March, Lindy got the news she was a match. A few weeks later, she invited Porty to Nationwide Arena under the guise of an interview about organ donation.
That there is a match. I don't know who the match is yet. Hoping to find out at some point this week.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that's actually the real reason why you're here. I am your donor.
No way.
It's doing what I would hope someone else would do for me.
And for a man who works in words, Porty found himself without many.
I think our language is limited. It doesn't seem like thank you is enough. This team has always sort of transcended wins and losses, is what I would say.
The sense of family that the hockey community has, Porty is family. He can write some nasty things about the team if he wants
Critiques?
to. Critiques. He can write some critiques about the team if he wants to. But that doesn't change the fact that he is family.
And I keep thinking, what's the appropriate wedding gift for someone who gave you a kidney? That's not on any registry anywhere. Thanks to everybody who is willing to do this, because it's incredible. It's a lifesaver.
Okay, what makes this extra special for me is I am friends with both Lindy and Aaron. They thought it would be fun to surprise me on the day we did the story. It was the day before the surgery. They did not tell me going in that Lindy was the donor until I sat down to do the interview. And then I literally fell out of my chair and started crying. It was an absolutely incredible moment, and I felt so honored to share their story. All right, David, what was your favorite?
Whitney, thanks. My favorite story from this past year didn't come from the field, but rather from the stands. Down at Teays Valley High School, Mackenzie Love is certainly redefining the term blind ambition. The senior sees the world differently than most, but she's also got an ear for music that makes her an important part of the band known as the Golden Sound.
And I love it because I'm a part of something bigger than myself.
You can spot the smile of Mackenzie Love from across the parking lot at band practice. But in reality, she actually can't see anything.
I don't have any usable vision. Just light perception. Okay. A little bit of light perception, that's it.
But once that music starts, her senses come to focus.
I learn a lot by ear through digital recordings, and then I pick that up and slowly chunk it in little parts and repeat it over and over and over again until I start to memorize, and then I take those chunks and put them together to create a piece.
Mackenzie is in the percussion section of the Teays Valley Marching Band, known as the Golden Sound. In pregame, she's clapping the cymbals for the national anthem. And at halftime, you can find her in the front playing the xylophone.
Her memorization skills are amazing. She learns it really quicker than she maybe even made it seem. I mean, she can get a song that day, and if she's listened to it a few times, she's already halfway through the song in the first 10 minutes. I mean, she memorizes things very well.
Described as once a quiet freshman, Mackenzie now plays a pivotal part of the soundtrack of a Friday night at Teays Valley.
More than anything, she's a regular band kid, even though she has some challenges here and there. When people see her shine, they know that they have the ability to shine just like she does, and so I think that's an inspiration.
This year's halftime performance is called When You're Smiling, and with every note, Mackenzie has plenty to smile about.
I just try to do things like everyone else. I think it's so important for students and individuals with disabilities to be able to get out into the world and do things and live through incredible experiences.
When we come back, Colleen and I share a few of our favorite stories and moments from 2024.